Hello everyone, my name is Sean Smith and I'm a student physical therapist at Messiah University. Today I just want to talk to you guys how we can try to make your home safer in order to reduce risk for falls. Today I'm going to be focusing on three specific areas of your home: your foyer, your living room, and your kitchen.
We're in the entrance to the door right here. The first thing that we want to check for safety is the floor. The first thing is we have a floor throw rug here, but it has an adhesive pad under it, so it's not slipping and sliding around. That's a great option to make sure to decrease risk for falls. The carpet, we want to make sure that it's nice and tight and stretched out, so there's no bumps or anything. We want to make sure that there's adequate lighting and the switches are easily accessible, which they are, which is good. And then we want to decrease clutter in the area. So we've got a nice little bin here for our umbrellas. And then a lot of times people will just kind of throw their shoes off in front of the door. So another great option would be like a shoe shelf to organize shoes and decrease clutter. All right, so we're in the living room now. And just like the foyer, we want to make sure we're decluttering the area. So we've got bins here for blankets and pillows and such. So that's a good thing, that decreases risk for falls. Another thing we want to make sure of is we don't want long cords out on the floor where they can be a tripping hazard. We want to make sure to plug those in behind furniture so that they're out of the way. Again, with lighting, we want an adequate amount of lighting and have access to the switches. Now, the light switches are all the way over there, so they're not as accessible from the living room. So it might be a good idea to install a clapper or something like that to decrease risk for falls. And then we want to make sure the furniture is sturdy, especially furniture that you're going to be sitting on, like couches and single chairs and stuff, because that can increase risk for falls if it's not sturdy. So we want to be making sure that we are replacing furniture that isn't sturdy. All right, so now we're in the kitchen. Just like the previous two rooms, we want to make sure that we're decluttering the area. So the counter space is nice and open. As you can see, we have two bins here that we put items in that we are frequently using. Another thing that we want to make sure is we want to make sure that the floor is nice and dry, not slippery. When people get ice out of the freezer, a lot of times ice cubes will fall on the floor and melt and turn into water and make the floor slippery, which a well-lit kitchen is also important to make sure that we can see where the water is and stuff. When we're going up into high cabinets, sometimes a stool might be helpful, so knowing when you need a stool. And then finally, if you have pets, when you're preparing meals, a lot of times your pets want to be right near your legs, so just being aware of that and watching out for your pets when you're preparing meals.
What we've learned today in the foyer: make sure the flooring is safe upon entrance into your home, make sure the floor is dry, and make sure the carpet is stretched out and there aren't any bumps that you could trip over. Also, make sure the pattern of your carpet isn't too busy or distracting. That could cause falls. And then in your living room, we want to eliminate clutter, making sure all cords are running behind the furniture and they aren't a tripping hazard, making sure we have adequate lighting and the switches are accessible. We could install clappers if not, and to make sure we're replacing any unsteady furniture. Then in the kitchen, we want to reduce clutters to the counters. We want to make sure the floor is dry. We want to use a step stool for when we're reaching into high cabinets. And we also want to be aware of our pets when we are preparing meals. Thanks, guys.